Yeah, I hope that answers your question.
So now that you're more collaborative, who is the artist?
That's what I try to open up the question to. With the piece that I collaborated with other people on, I felt as though I was still the artist because I had come up with this idea. And there are artworks that you will find you question that even further. These people that just, I'd done conversations with the professor that I did that project for about Duchamp. He had found ready-made objects. You know, you just go up and pick these objects. And then she had mentioned that even more contemporary, these people that don't even touch the objects sort of take it for granted and they say, this is my artwork. So I feel in my regard that the painting that I've done that I showed you, I had come up with the idea. I had actually started making the first few strokes, and then throughout the painting I painted with these other people, and then the final painting I had painted over just about everybody else's painting. So it's sort of not entirely my painting. I know you're trying to make a definite answer out of it, but I tried to approach the project that it was still my painting because I came up with the idea, and then also on the fifth day I tried to make a resolution. Because without my resolution, you would just see all these different ideas and it'd be all scattered, and it really needed a manager. Thankfully enough, nobody has come by and said, I'm going to sue you, this is my painting, or you know, I want my name attached to that. So I was lucky in that regard, but it's quite true. And with the programs, computer programs more especially, I feel as though it is me that programs the initial program. I set up all the parameters for the presentation. I could make any sort of presentation I wanted with those programs. But I feel as though I set up the program, I set up the parameters, and I sort of let loose. I come up with the initial visualization of what I want the project to look like. And from there on out, it's anybody's game. If I allowed anybody to take the artwork and manipulate it, they could call it their own. And that's sort of a trend that we see more and more often, that with software, there are open source programs that if you manipulate even just a little bit, you can say it's mine, or you can say it's his or hers. And for the music sampling, I actually had to take someone else's software and sort of use it to my own will. And people have said, you know, oh, this looks like a WinAmp visualization, or this looks like Windows Media visualization. But I say, I've taken my vision, this is what I want it to look like. I've taken this sort of scientific approach where I can't really get around it because I have to sample the music. And I say, since this is my vision, I had to use this. This is still my artwork. These people have written the programs before me. These people have developed these other images before me, but as an artist, this is my vision. So if I let other people use my software, my programs, then it becomes their vision as well. And if they choose to accredit me, then I'll do the same. And you'll find this throughout history that people will just sort of copy what other people have done. And there'll be multiple artists that work on a painting. I think Andy Warhol is probably one of the best examples of having a whole warehouse of people working on paintings, but they all devoted to Andy Warhol. So it sort of comes down to a personal decision, but I feel as though those are my ideas on it.
Can I follow that up? How do you see your audience? Where do you see them watching these videos? Like on YouTube, or I mean, and then how does that affect, like, you know, like they are in the front of their computer now, and I don't know, just what do you think about that?
I actually really love it. What I did with the Rorschach is that it's not really great representation I showed you tonight because it really is just one image and it'll cycle through every 3 seconds. But I would send that to friends and family over the internet, or I'd take it with my USB drive, and I think that's wonderful because it gets away from the white wall museums and having to pay to go see these paintings, or even if they are a free gallery, you still have to drive out there or walk out there, whatever it may be. But I can get this personal contact with these people if I have the USB drive. I just put it in their computer. It's not even my computer. And I show them this vision that I had, and it's wonderful. Or I show it to these people over the internet. In fact, quite recently, I posted some stuff to YouTube, and after a week, I looked at the view counts of all my videos that I posted. Most of them were like 20 views, and I said, oh, well, I clicked on that 16 times. It's sort of fair. But the passage piece in particular had over 220 views. And I was like, huh. I know I didn't click on it that many times. I know people didn't want to watch my piece that much. So I looked into it, and it's actually curious. YouTube has a statistic counter. So I looked at it, and I said, what's this .cz domain? And I looked it up, and it's somewhere out in, near Australia and Indonesia. And this person had actually linked my piece of artwork to their blog. So it had over 200 views within 1 week. And actually today, he emailed me again and said, I'd like to collaborate with you on this artwork. I had this idea that we should use this program, which is called processing, which is what I created those in. And he wants to collaborate on it. So we're using the same software to develop these monsters, as